The hum stuttered, then died. Not silence, but the absence of a deep thrum that had vibrated in Jake's bones since they'd pulled him aboard. The soft, pulsating light lining the obsidian walls flickered, threatening darkness. Jake's stomach twisting, not from alien captivity, but from the familiar dread of failing machinery, knew something was critically wrong. Years wrestling broken engines on space freighters had taught him the death rattle of a system breaking down. His cell, a light-infused chamber more gallery than cage, showcased him, Exhibit A, a hairy, ungainly human in a universe of polished perfection. His captors, the Crystalline Concordance, were anything but ungainly, living sculptures of light and crystal, facets shimmering, movements fluid grace compared to human clumsiness. They communicated in light patterns and resonant frequencies, a language Jake felt more than understood. Until now they'd observed him with detached curiosity, like a curator with dusty artifact. Then the cosmic storm hit. Not visual, but felt. A jarring dissonance in the ship's hum, a tremor through the deck plating. Outside, exotic radiation tore through space. Inside, the Concordance's perfect technology unraveled. Automated repairs activated. Shimmering nanite swarms emerged from wall fissures, flowing towards the disruption. Beautiful, intricate, miniature miracles. And utterly useless. The radiation wasn't a localized fault. It poisoned the core energy network. Jake watched, grim fascination rising, as nanites swirled frantically, then died, collapsing into inert dust. The Concordance reacted with subtle light shifts, a flicker of confusion, their resonant communication sharpened, discordant, beings of logic, of flawless systems they seemed unable to grasp failure in their own creations. They observed their dying ship with detached bewilderment, morphing into alien unease. Jake, however, knew. He'd seen it before. Automated systems were great until they weren't, designed for predictable problems. But when the universe threw a curveball, you needed hands, a wrench, improvisation. He pressed against his chamber barrier, trying to get their attention, gesturing wildly at flickering lights, failing systems, pointing at himself, miming wrenching motions. He even hummed, a rough imitation of their resonant communication, desperate in the sterile air. The nearest Concordance, azure light shimmering, turned. Facets shifted, mild annoyance. A focused light beam scanned him, then dismissed him, returning to the failing systems. They couldn't comprehend this messy human offering solutions where their perfect technology failed. Their light pulse, dismissal, condescending certainty. But the crisis escalated. Lights dimmed further, temperature dropped, ozone tang filled the air, alien panic rippled through the Concordance. Light patterns became erratic, frantic. Then, one emerald light deeper than the rest, Dimro, detached itself. Dimro moved towards his chamber, analytical intensity replacing dismissal. It studied his gestures, his crude attempts, its multifaceted eyes reflecting consideration. Dimro beamed light at Jake again, not a scan but inquiry, a question in light and resonance, probing for understanding. Jake, sensing hope, pressed against the barrier. "Listen," he croaked, pointing at failing systems, then himself. "I can fix it. I know how." Words useless, but maybe they'd understand desperate urgency, pragmatic intent. He mimed tools again, shaping air, showing wrenching, twisting, connecting. Dimro observed, crystalline facets calculating, then deliberately light commands towards the wall. An aperture opened, alien tools materializing, shimmering alloys, perfectly balanced, almost too beautiful to use, but tools nonetheless. Wrenches, levers, conductive wires, pristine. Jake grabbed a wrench, cool alien metal comforting, pointing at a sparking junction box, then himself, silent question. Dimro pulsed, soft affirmative resonance. Permission. No schematics, just instinct. Tracing energy flow, feeling vibrations, listening for arcing electricity. Bypassing fried regulators with scavenged wires, jumpsuit insulation, improvising. The Concordance watched, bafflement shifting to silent fascination, their systems surgical, inflexible. Jake's messy, intuitive, chaotic, and working. He tightened a connection, bypassing a melted conduit with stripped alien wire. Sparks, then silence. He listened. Light steadied, dissonant hums smoothed, resolving into steady, resonant life. Systems rebooted, lights brightened, temperature stabilized, ship's hum returned, stronger. Collective relief, unified light pattern, washed over the Concordance. Demro approached again, emerald light now wonder. Focused beam not on Jake's face, but his hands, calloused, scarred, stained. Examining them, understanding, perhaps, the value of imperfection, the power of human hands fixing what perfect machines couldn't. Jake, exhausted, grinned. No words needed. The Crystalline Concordance understood. In a universe of automation, sometimes, all you needed was a wrench, grit, and a human who knew how things really worked.